Then comes the 53rd Amendment Act of 1986. This only provided for a special provision in respect to Mizoram and fixed the strength of assembly at a minimum of 40 members. Okay, so if you know that our legislative assemblies and the Lok Sabha, etc., they have a minimum and a maximum criteria. They cannot go beyond this or below this. Okay, but for some assemblies, some states, you will find that they are very, very small. Okay, so having a large assembly is basically not so much needed. Similarly, there are some states which might have a requirement of a larger assembly because of the large population. So therefore, you will find that in 53rd Amendment, the Mizoram was given a special provision wherein the assembly strength was fixed at a minimum of 40. Okay. Then comes the 54th Amendment Act of 1986. It increased the salaries of Supreme Court and High Court judges and enabled the Parliament. So this has been the question asked in the UPSC also before, that the salaries of Supreme Court and High Court judges are decided by whom? Okay, or to be changed by whom? So it was Parliament, because Parliament was given this power that they can, by an ordinary law, by passing an ordinary law, they can actually increase the salaries of Supreme Court and High Court judges. But to ensure what? That there is no interference of executive in judiciary. They have made sure that when Supreme Court judges are there and their salaries cannot be changed to their disadvantage, at least during their tenure. So Parliament cannot decrease their salaries while they are in tenure. Okay, because that might be considered as a executive interference with the judiciary, and this might affect the principle of separation of powers, which is also mentioned in the doctrine of basic structure. Then comes the 55th Amendment Act of 1986. It made the special provisions in respect of Arunachal Pradesh and fixed the strength of its assembly at 30 members. So whenever we are going below a certain number which has been fixed, we need to pass an Amendment Act. And that is why Arunachal Pradesh also had to be given a special consideration under 55th Amendment Act of 1986. Then comes the 56th Amendment Act of 1987. It fixed the strength of Goa legislative assemblies, because it's a small state, to 30. Okay, minimum of 30. Then comes the 57th Amendment Act of 1987. It reserved seats for STs in legislative assemblies of Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Meghalaya and Nagaland. So out of all these five, you need to remember that 53rd to 57th was mostly about the special provisions given to certain states for fixing their legislative assemblies, apart from 54th, wherein basically it was about the salaries of Supreme Court and High Court judges. Then comes the 58th Amendment Act of 1987. It provided, this is very, very important, because Constitution was written in English. Okay, designed by Nandalal Bose, written by, you are going to tell me in comment section below. Okay, so you will find that 58th Amendment Act of 1987, it provided for an authoritative text of the Constitution in Hindi language and gave the same legal sanctity to the Hindi version also. So Constitution was written in the Hindi format. There also you need to tell me who was the writer, who was the designer. Okay, and who designed this Hindi authoritative text of Constitution. And now it was said that even the Constitution written in the Hindi language will have the same authority. Okay. Then comes the 59th Amendment Act of 1988. It facilitated the extension of President's rule in Punjab up to 3 years. Okay. So what was done for earlier for more than 1 year, now it became 3 years. And now the second point is it provided for the declaration of national emergency in Punjab on the ground of internal disturbance. Okay. Then comes the 60th Amendment Act of 1988. It increased the ceiling of taxes on professions, trades, calling and employment from 250 rupees per annum to 2500 rupees per annum. So this is not, not that important. And then comes the 61st Amendment Act of 1989. Extremely important.